Alright, I welcome you to this new episode of the Political Analysis Program. This is Rodin Mugema, the Afro Pessimist, as usual. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening out there, today our main topic, we are going to explore Neo-Colonialism. I want to address a significant issue that continues to hinder Africa's progress, the neo-colonization. Although the former colonial era has ended, but neo-colonialism still persists in more subtle yet equally damaging forms. A very good morning. Let's talk about economic exploitation. Neo-colonialism perpetuates economic exploitation by allowing foreign corporations to dominate Africa's resource sectors. Take an example, in countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, that country of Felix Tshisekedi, there are many conflicts there. Foreign companies control a significant portion of the mining industry, extracting valuable minerals or mineral resources like cobalt, coltan, while local communities see little benefit. That is happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo, as we know that it is one of the richest mineral resource country in the world. Then, when we talk about political interference regarding neo-colonialism, foreign powers often meddle in African politics, and this has been said by the President of the Republic of Uganda, of His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, and so many African heads of states. They often meddle in African politics because they want to secure their economic interests. For instance, in Angola, Western countries have historically supported the ruling party due to its control over oil reserves. In many African countries, they have done that, influencing the country's political landscape to favor their business interests. That is how bad neo-colonialism is. Dependence on aid, on the grants they give us, it fosters dependence on foreign aid, which can undermine local development. Kenya is a true example about this. Reliance on foreign aid has sometimes led to the imposition of policies that do not align with the local needs, creating a cycle of dependence rather than sustainable development. Even Uganda belongs to this category. And then there is unequal trade relations. Trade agreements often favor neo-colonial powers, disadvantaging African countries. For instance, the European Union's trade agreements with African, Caribbean, and Pacific, the ACP, countries often impose strict conditions that limit Africa's ability to benefit fully from trade. That is all about neo-colonialism. It is a cancer, and it's very bad to the African continent. Environmental degradation, resource extraction by foreign entities often result in significant environmental damage. We know that. Professor Lumumba talked about it. In Nigeria's Niger Delta, oil spills caused by foreign oil companies have led to severe environmental degradation, affecting local communities' health and livelihoods. But surprisingly, even the heads of states in such respective countries, they are silent. Maybe they are toothless bulldogs. They doesn't bite. Culture erosion is also another factor explaining why neo-colonialism is not good for Africans. The dominance of foreign cultural norms and values can erode African cultural identities. In many African countries, Western media and consumer culture overshadow local traditions and languages, leading to loss of cultural diversity and heritage. Uganda is a true example of this. There are many African countries which are still thinking that they are going to go with each and everything that comes from the western part of the world, which is really not good. Then limited industrialization. Neo-colonialism practices focus on resource extraction rather than supporting the development of local industries. For instance, I'll give you an example. Many African countries export raw materials like cocoa, coffee, cotton, but import finished products like clothes, This limits their ability to develop a robust industrial base. And the Western people will never tell you this, because they have their own interests. They are protecting their own companies. Social inequality, economic benefits. Benefits from foreign investments are often concentrated among a small elite, increasing inequality. In South Africa, the benefits of foreign investments in the mining sector are primarily enjoyed by a small elite. South Africans, you can tell me where I'm not speaking the truth. Correct me if I am wrong. The benefits of foreign investments in South Africa, and it's not only in South Africa, there are also other countries. They're enjoyed by a small elite, where the majority of the population remains impoverished in such countries, and you can wonder. Then there is this fact of debt dependence. Loans from international financial institutions often lead to a cycle of debt. Like Uganda, we have a debt of around 90-something trillion Ugandan shillings. In Mozambique, high levels of debt have constrained the economic growth and led to austerity measures that impact social services like education and health care. In Mozambique. In Uganda, through countries like China, like Quad, the European Union, the world, we have so many debts to clear. But that is all about neo-colonialism. If we are united, as I told you earlier in yesterday's program, we even don't need to get such loans from. You don't need to get loans from such countries. If we have a united Central Bank of Africa, then this so-called Exim Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the world, we don't need them if we are united. But just because now we go to them as microstates of Africa, for example, Uganda, Kenya, the terms and agreements, you are not the one to determine. Anyway, there is also loss of sovereignty, economic and political pressure from neo-colonial powers. They can undermine sovereignty. I'll give you an example. In Ghana, the government has faced the pressure to privatize essential services and liberalize markets as conditions for receiving foreign aid. If you think like it is a joke for those people to continue sending aid in African countries hoping that they have no interest, they limit its ability to make independent policy decisions in government. Now the leaders in such countries end up, of course, they end up acting as puppets. And surprising, even it amazes me that such leaders doesn't even realize. Every time, after a period of time, they organize elections, and the masses vote in favor of something or of someone, but they forgot that at the top there is a puppeteer. In fact, most of the African leaders, they would have been in jail. They would have been in jail. I won't mention names, they know themselves. But according to what they do, they have committed many crimes against humanity, crimes, their war, genocide, whatever. There is also treason. They have sold our countries to the conceptual West, to the Americans, to the world. So, they should be taken to jail. They would have been behind bars. And there is no shortage of such countries. They are there, even in this part of the region. They are very many. They lose the ability to make independent policy decisions in their own governments, imagine. Let's talk about this issue of brainwashing. Skilled professionals often migrate to neo-colonial powers for better opportunities. For example, Ugandan doctors, South Africa, Nigeria. In Nigeria, many doctors and engineers live for countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, looking for better pasture or greener pasture. This results in a loss of talent needed for national development, because you cannot employ them. They studied, they worked, they spent most of their time, they invested. Now, when they start to work, you can't employ such people. And it doesn't mean that such countries, Nigeria, Uganda, they can't employ their experts. They can. But the problem is corruption. It is corruption. Amount of money has been swindled by government officials. Look at what is happening in Uganda against the speaker, among Anita, against what? The ministers are involved in corruption. And what these people do? They decide to migrate to other countries where they can get at least fair pay, money, what, and living in better conditions compared to their countries. Inadequate development projects. Development projects funded by foreign donors often prioritize their interests. I wonder why people can't realize that. In Tanzania, infrastructure projects funded by foreign entities sometimes focus on facilitating resource extraction rather than improving local living conditions. This has also done for like even in Mali, it is the same story. You go to Burkina Faso, it was the same story before the coming of Captain Ibrahim Traore, the second youngest serving president in the whole world, Captain Ibrahim Traore, in Burkina Faso, that great country of Thomas Sankara. When he came, the story changed immediately, and the French are no longer the puppeteers now. So I am saying that I am proposing if African countries also do the same, like the Burkinabe president Ibrahim Traore. So such like companies from the West, they focus on facilitating resource extraction, leading to inadequate development. Instead of improving local living conditions, it ends up resulting to misaligned development efforts in such countries. Then I think lastly, due to time, geopolitical manipulation. Like neo-colonialism often involves geopolitical manipulation, where foreign powers use African countries as pawns in their strategic games. You remember during the Cold War, both the United States and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, it was USSR before, but its president now it is called Russia. They supported various countries, South Africa, Angola, what? But they didn't do it just because they wanted. They had their own interests. So we should put it in mind that they can't help you without gaining something. In conclusion, neo-colonialism, in my own prescription, continues to pose significant challenges to Africa's development. It perpetuates exploitation of cost dependence, inequality, and environmental degradation, while undermining political sovereignty and cultural identity. To overcome these challenges, it is essential to promote fair trade, strengthen local governance, support sustainable development, and foster economic independence. Only then can Africa realize its full potential and achieve true lasting development. I want to thank you for listening to the Political Hub Analysis Program. This is Rodin Mugema, the Afro-pessimist. Of course, I'm looking forward to improve on my stories. I would like you to let me know about what you have liked, such that we move together and we improve on where necessary. Special thanks goes to all the anonymous listeners out there, people from Burkina Faso, Nigeria, from different countries in West Africa and in many other regions here in Africa. Please, thank you so much for listening. This is Rodin Mugema, the Afro-pessimist. The Almighty God of all creation is great and exceedingly merciful. Our main agenda of uniting Africa will one day happen, and we put it into practice. A very good morning.